Guys, Rickshaw here. It's still the 29th, but I wanted to go back to the weather here. I was seeing on some of the sites that they were hitting temperatures. One place hit 44 here in the Philippines, and then a lot of them were over 40. And if you look on here, it says 40 is like 104, according to the, well, let's see, 102. And 44 would be like 105, 106, like that. But we're nowhere near there. We're sitting right now on about 84, 85. It says like 32 Celsius. It hasn't heated up much over that today. It's just been a gorgeous day. I mean, look at this. We got some nice clouds. We have been getting, the sun's been covering things over. So we haven't really been getting this this crazy heat or anything like that. But the kids and I, we took a lot of big hikes today, walking around, looking for lizards and stuff, and just kind of exploring our little area, looking over the fences and seeing stuff. It's a pretty cool place. I'm going to be liking it when they get a lot of this grass cut, because then we can cut across those areas. And kids are really loving the place so far. We're this is just Saturday today. Tomorrow will be Sunday. We're not going to be doing much. I get paid on the 1st. We get it here like 10 o'clock on the 1st that we can get it. So we'll go out on Tuesday. We'll do some shopping and stuff like that. We got to get Mumu in for the 3rd. And we got, then sees the doctor on the 4th, plus my sweetie's going to go see the heart doctor just to check. I'm going to tell the doctor, look, that you just need to check her sugar too while we're there. I still think she's got a little bit of a sugar problem. But they're burning over there already. I see these houses around here, they're building. They're really seeming to go along. I wish they would make out a place for a water tank. I still nothing on that yet. Not a dang thing on that yet. Probably going to have to get a tank and a pump in here. Some of you guys told me what kind of pump I need, and they're not that expensive. I can get a pretty good brand for about 10,000, even less. And then the tanks, I'll have to go around and price. Get a stainless tank, and they got that little toilet float thing there where it shuts the water off, and then looks like the pump will draw off the tank. The water will come in and go through my filter into the tank, and then the drain out the bottom. That'll be where the pump will pick it up to pressurize the house. So I'm just hoping nothing leaks inside of there. Time will tell. The plumber here was kind of funny that he wouldn't terminate stuff. Same with the electrician, but that's the way she goes. So we're dealing with it as we go. I got one more light to fix. We just haven't moved the dresser. I haven't felt like it yet. I got lights to hang. I got like 5 lights we need to hang yet. I got the 2 bedrooms, and then down here I found the lights I want at the handyman over at the mall. Like the one here for the living room, and also for our bedroom. I want to get that one that'll change colors. It's kind of nice looking. That way, if we're watching TV, we could dim it out. It's got a little controller. And then I found another nice one for the dining room. Kind of was thinking of a swag chain, but with all the wind coming in these windows, I don't know. I think I might try it anyway. And if it's shaking around too much, I'll just put some fishing line, triangulate some fishing line up to the ceiling with some thumbtacks, and maybe that'll hold it up a little bit better. But that'd be nice to have a swag over the dining room table. Every place I ever had, I put those in, and they're kind of nice. We just got to find one yet. I like to go to the lighting places and look at them. It's kind of hard to do it online, because then you get some real crap. Whereas if you go to a lighting place, what you see is what you get. And that's pretty much what I want to do. I want to look at it and play around with them. Most of the places we went to, the lights are hooked up, and if they're not, they'll go hook them up. so you could see them. But the lights we found that we really liked over at the handyman, they were like mounted on a wall board, and you could pull the remote control off and start actuating the lights. And the one I really liked, it had a rainbow of colors out of it, and you could dim it and brighten it. You could go from the whitest white all the way down to the purple color of the spectrum. So that'll be nice for watching TV. Instead of all these bright lights in here, we could put it on the yellowy light, just so we have a little bit of light other than looking right at a big screen TV. But we want to get the we're not sure whether we're going to get the signal satellite or the PLDT. We don't know. We'll go down there and see. They keep pushing these 2,800 peso things from PLDT, and they don't want to okay anything else here. And I just don't think that's worth it for as much as they go down. And I've had experience with that, so might go with the signal dish. But I haven't gotten any contact back from those people yet. There's numbers, you can call them, and somebody will say, give us your number, we'll get back to you. Then nobody will talk to you when you call them. We'll forward this on, give us your number. And nothing. I've got nothing back from anyone. There's Mama Kitty with her little baby over there.
Where's the kitty?
Don't scare the little ones. I saw the little ones were hunting too. I didn't see them get any. But Mama Kitty, she's hunting down there again because they cut the grass. So she's close to here again getting these. And most of the time you see her, she's got a mouse in her mouth. She's a really good hunter, a super good hunter. She just dropped some kittens here. I haven't seen them. I don't know where they're at. I think they're over in the corner over there, probably inside the hut because it's got a lock on it, and we can't see in there. But I'm sure she's got a crevice she went through. I haven't heard them meowing in there or anything yet. I whacked on the side of it. Usually if you whack on the side of something like that, the kitties will meow, but I didn't hear anything, so I don't know where they're at. But I see her first batch that was not that long ago, a few months back. They're starting to hunt. I have not seen them catch anything, but you could see them. They're pouncing on stuff, going after it. So that's kind of cool. And I see that dang orange one that looks like the father, and he comes around here, but he's one of them ones. He poops right on the sidewalk. I swear, guys, I never seen a cat do that before. But I never seen dogs. Dogs do it either. They would rather go in the grass. But that's the way she goes. My son and I went for a walk, and that one mean dog that's on a little chain and in the house, it's really mean. We talked to those people when we were walking. They said, what do you got a dog like that for? That thing jumps out on the chain, runs halfway out in the street at us. What's up with that? So they're gonna put it in. But it's a shame. But that antisocial dog is just basically in jail. I asked him, what do you have a dog like that for? They said protection. I said, what's it can protect? The only thing it can protect is the 3 feet of its chain it's got outside of its box. They said, well, but it barks, and we know that somebody's around. I said, well, it barks at everything. I mean, I walk by here every single day, and it barks at me every day. You think it'd be used to me by now? I'm no harm. I'm not trying to bust in your house. Oh, well, it's the dog. I says, that's your garbage disposal. The guy just laughed. But the other fella, we got up the street a little bit farther, and there's that nice setter-type looking dog. Looks like lab and setter, kind of narrow in the head. I was able to pet that one. I thought it was a nice, friendly dog. And they got a couple shepherds, smaller shepherds, like 40-pounders in the back. They're all wagging their tail, though. They're not aggressive dogs or anything. They just want petted. And I petted him, and then when Maddie and I went up to the end, and when we came back through, he didn't bark. So, he just kind of was looking and wagging his tail, so we went back up and petted him. And maybe he's going to be one that'll quit barking. It's just the way we walk through here. We want to try to find a way in the mornings. I hate waking everyone up. But I need to get out and walk every day. Pretty soon I'm going to start taking tracks up the road when they get rid of this mask baloney and all that. I'd like to walk in towards town. We got was it Tuesday? Tuesday or Wednesday, I think I can pick up my stuff. I'm just going to walk into town. I'm not going to drive it because there's no place to park for me to stop at the BDO anyway. That's the one where I can get some money out quick. I'll transfer the rest transfer-wise, but I always like to get 20 out to have it in my pocket. And that's the only one you can get 20 out. The rest of them, they want 10. And they hit you for $5, plus my bank in the States hits me for $5. So just to get 20,000 pesos cost me $10, which kind of sucks. 500 peso. That's the way it is. But, you guys will find that out when you get here. The best thing you can do, though, if you're in the States and you're planning on coming here, they got RCBC banks in the States. Open up an account there. Open up an account at RCBC, and then if you have any money that can't be transferred to here, like my pension, they will not transfer it into a Filipino bank. They just refuse. I don't know why. I just don't understand that at all, but they just won't. I know other guys that are getting pensions that get it transferred straight into a Filipino bank. But for some reason, my pension, they don't allow that. That's, IBEW. That's just one of their rules. And so I don't get that, but we do transfer out a little bit, so we got cash in our pocket, and then of course, we're going to need some cash in the pocket to run down to Carmona. I got to fill the tank on our Beast right there, and the tires. Pretty soon, I'm going to be putting some tires on this thing. I got these things are starting to get a little bit slick. They never squealed before. Now, when you go around corners, you can hear them squealing. They're getting hard. They got a lot of tread on them, but somebody here will want them. I've done that before, where I've taken tires off while there was still some tread on them. People give you a good buck for them because they'll run them for another couple of years. Where I got my family in there. I'm pretty much about done with these. When it rained the other time and we were out driving, I cut the speed down 25% because even with the anti-locks and stuff, they're just not like they were. Plus, it sits out in the sun. Those tires are getting sunburned every day. And, here, that sun just, my son, it was so funny. We were going for a walk in his tongs. He's got black ones. And he went to put his tongs on. He's, these are hot, they're hot. I said, yeah, buddy, you can't do those. When you buy tongs, you get light-colored ones so they're not so hot. If you can. Me, I got to take what I can get because I can't find my size. But for the kids, get the white ones. Something of a light color so it's not baking, because they're always sitting. They're always sitting over there. It's just a big mess there. I hate that when you come into the front of the house and it's just a stinking mess like that. But there's no winning on that for me. Even if I clean them up and put them somewhere, they'll all be back there before you know it. It's how it's been in every house I've been in. And that I came out the other day and tripped on that and almost went down. And I'm waiting to break my neck on that. I actually had a buddy that was on a step stool, and I'm not kidding you. This thing was only about a 10-inch step stool. He was 6 foot tall, but he couldn't get into his one cupboard. It was the cupboard up above the sink, and so he had a step stool so that he could get up there. He had a problem with his shoulder. He was 67, 68 years old, and went over to his house one day, and everything was boarded up. And so I called, and his wife answered. His wife answered his phone. And I said, "Hey, what's up?" And she said, "Oh, he was stepping on the step stool and slipped off the step stool, fell down, hit his head, killed him." So stuff like that can happen pretty quick. And that guy wasn't in too bad a shape. He just had a problem with his shoulder. He couldn't reach over his head, so he had to get up high enough to where he could reach straight in. And I've had that problem with my shoulder too. I was pulling on a piece of rebar and just pulled something out. It lasted me for a good 6 months. Where, I had actually the first couple weeks of it, I couldn't even raise my arm up at all. I had to take my other hand and push it up to where I wanted to be. I couldn't raise it up on my own. It just wouldn't go. So I can understand that stuff happening. When I was young, it never did. But hey, we're getting older. That's just the way it goes. But we did a lot of hiking today. Did you like your big hikes today?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's my hiking boy. After I did the video this morning, after it got light, when I got in, right after the video, he was ready to go. He was like, "Hey, Papa." He drank his water and he had already eaten while I was walking. So I said, okay, we'll make some spaghetti when I come back. So we took another big hike, longer than my first one. We went all the way out on the road a little bit. Forgot our masks, but nobody was really bugging us or anything like that. So we didn't go too far up the street, and then we turned around, came back, and walked all the streets through there. He's my walking buddy. He's the one that whenever I go somewhere, no matter where it is, he always wants to go. The other kids sometimes now they want to stay home or they want to do this or that, but he always wants to go with me, and I like that. Sometimes he takes his bike too, or his scooter. He's got a scooter here. The bike is still flat. We're going to go down on payday and pick him up another tube. It's my own fault because when the back one, the hole where the valve goes through, they didn't chamfer it, so it ate through the valve, and I tried to patch that, and it lasted for a while. Well, like a big dummy, I should have pulled the front one off and said, look, they did a bad job on the back one, and it would have been easy to pull the front one off and chamfer it, and he'd be riding it today, but I didn't do that, and it cut right through the valve, just like the other one. It cut through it, and so now there's no fixing it. I got to buy him another tube, but I got the 16-inch tubes here for 100 peso at the bike shop down there, so that's not too bad. And we also, I found two bikes, one for my wife and one for myself. It's by this Battle company. I still haven't heard anybody from here in the Philippines if you've heard of that. It says on their advertisement they make for Cannondale, they make for Giant, they make and Schwinn and Raleigh, and they make bikes for all over. It says they make 10 million bikes a year. So the company's called Battle, and this is their own house brand, steel. The bikes I want to get are steel. It's got some kind of German technology paint on them, and it's an internal hub, 5-speed. I don't like these ones with the derailleur in the. I've never had luck with them. I always had trouble. I had mountain bikes, and you hit them, and they're broke, and you're always fiddling around. Some of my very first bikes I had internal hub. The first bike I had I had built when I got out of the service. I went down to this place called Frederick's Bike Shop, and I had them build it, and they had all this derailleur stuff. Well, they had an old bike in the back that had a 3-speed hub, and it was a different size wheel. I said, but can you put a wheel on this bike with this hub on it? And yeah, the guy's like, yeah, we can do anything. That's what we do here. He goes, but why do you want that? I said, I don't want this. I don't want these. I want that. And that's all I needed was the 3-speed. That was plenty enough for me. I could keep up with anybody, and it was an internal thing. I wish I could get the belt drive though. There's a lot of bikes around the world you can buy that are internal hubs now, and some of them, like that Alphine. That's a really nice one, and that shifter, and you can get belt. You get the frame and the belt. That's what I would like to have. I hate chains. That was my main reason for switching on the motorcycles to the Harley and the Buell, because they had a belt, and I had Suzuki with with shaft drive, because I just can't stand dealing with a chain all the time. What a rotten way to do things. It's cheap when you want to change gearing and stuff, but how often are you going to do that? It's not that often. But I'm still, once we get this house done, they're going to be getting a bike. And now I see they sell the CRF 300L here in the Philippines. I've seen a couple places advertised it, and there's a shop out here now in Manila that has one down there, and that's something I wouldn't mind looking at. I've been watching the videos on that bike. I don't believe you can take it on the highway here because it's only a 300cc. So that's not too cool. But from what I'm seeing from people that weigh a little bit more, the suspension's a little bit better. I was on the CRF 150L. Suspension immediately would have to be fixed. I was on the 250. Immediately the suspension would have to be fixed. I mean, just front and back. So there's, that's why I was thinking of the Yamaha. It's more money for the Yamaha, but I don't have to do anything to it. Just get on it and ride it. The suspension was good for me. And a lot of these sites are saying that the suspension on the 300 is much better, and it's geared more towards heavier people. A lot of these bikes around here, they make them, the Filipinos just don't weigh as much as Americans. Now there are some that are getting that way, sadly, a lot, mostly the women, but but that's what's going on now. But these bikes, you buy a bike like this, a Honda, and then I put my wife on the back, and we're riding down on the bottom. I was on the CRF 150L. I was just sitting on it and just bouncing very lightly, and I was bottoming out, and I wasn't even moving. I was just sitting in the showroom. So that's for a 140-pound rider. But I don't know what their point is. Everybody rides two up here. You very rarely see a single bike. You always see husband and wife or something going down the road. Why wouldn't they make it so the suspension was better? But they don't. They just refuse to do it. The only bike I've seen here so far that I really liked was the WR155R. That suspension on that bike, I couldn't bottom it out at all, and I was up above 80% on the dynamic sag on it. So, that was pretty good, and I couldn't bottom it out in the showroom jumping up and down on it. I know those people probably looked at me like I was crazy, but I need to test this stuff. But my big thing right now, the reason why I'm not getting in a hurry. And I didn't get in a hurry. I liked the CRF 250L. I didn't get in a hurry because I knew that 300 was coming out. Now I hear they might be making a 350. And also Yamaha. I heard that Yamaha might come out with a WR 300 something to match Honda and Kawasaki, or maybe a 350 right off the back that could be highway legal. So if that comes out, then I wouldn't even think twice. That's what I would go after. But there's also the other bike I really, which I'm definitely going to get when I'm here. I just don't know when. But that XV650, that's just a fantastic bike. They're bulletproof. They got great power. It might come down to where I'll be able to just go up and get that. I don't know. I hate to run them around in the traffic or anything like that. I'd rather have a little bike. But when my check clears, I think I'm just going to go right down and get the YTX 125 from Yamaha. It's got a nice big flat seat, nice and comfy, and that'll be my wife and I's running around into town, or if I got to run up to the hardware store or do any of that kind of stuff. Her mom's going to come after the first of the month. She's planning on spending a couple weeks here every month, and then if my wife and I want to just get out or do anything instead of jumping in the car, we'll just jump on the bike. And then we got places to park, if we want to go into town here. And plus, I'd like to explore going out past Padre Garcia and see where these resorts are, because that's going to be something we do next month. I'm going to bring the camera on that, guys. And if we find a resort to take the kids, we've been hearing from everybody that these resorts allow you to take your kids as long as you can prove you live in Batangas and you're not coming from like somewhere else. And we can do that. Hopefully we'll have a electric or a water bill or something coming in. We may have the if the signal satellite dish people ever show up or call me, we might have a bill from that. So we'll have something. Plus we have our paperwork for the house already, so we'll have something to show them. And I want to do that. We haven't been out on a trip. These kids have been basically locked up for a year. This is criminal what they're doing to these children here. They're not allowing them to get to school. They're just going to dumb them down so bad. We had ours with a tutor, but this online stuff, these kids aren't learning. I actually talked to a couple of the kids that are doing online learning, and they say they just forget the stuff at the end of the day. And then when they have to go over it the next day, they can't remember any of it because their mind's not on it. That's not what school's about. School is like a competition. You want to be there with your friends, and you want to do better than your buddies. You don't want to sit in your stupid house looking at a damn screen. They'd rather be doing something else on their screen, so their mind's going all in 1,000 places. So what they're doing to these kids here is just criminal, if you ask me. They're saying they're going to save them for all this, that, and the other, and that's a big pile of baloney. More, something. If they were really wanting to save somebody, look how many people die of tuberculosis. Way more than this con game they're pulling on us now. Way more. So, you look what they did in the United States, all the businesses that have been smashed and ruined. And then they put all these people on this unemployment. They don't want to go to work. There's companies that are begging for workers, can't get them. And then they want to pay some hamburger flipper $15 an hour. Yeah, that's great. What's a hamburger going to cost me? $20? All this stuff that they're pulling, they're destroying. They just don't want a middle class. They want to move it to where it's them and the poor people. That's it. That's what they're looking for. And they're giving all these people handouts, and these people are suckered into it. They're suckered into taking these handouts, and that's the biggest mistake you can ever do. They have big signs all over the parks. Don't feed the bears, because if you do, they'll become dependent on it. But yet they feed the people. That's why here, I hope they don't ever come to any welfare state here. Yeah, it's tough here. That's for sure. But you know something? These people aren't dependent on this. I'm amazed. I see people that are on a scoot board with no legs going to work. There's one fella, he was actually on the TV here. We stopped and gave him some rice and some stuff at different times. We always try to buy his stuff. He's cruised around. He's got a withered leg. I think he's got a foot coming off the bottom of his knee from thalidomide, and he's got a little boy he takes care of. And he's pushing his cart down the road every day, so you got to give people like that credit. But you get people in the States, what do? They sit around and watch TV all day and eat their garbage, drink their 2-liter bottles of pop, and eat their Cheetos all day. And they're living this life of, and then you start seeing them getting obese and all kinds of problems, and they're just they're an expensive burden. You look at me, I've hardly ever been to the doctor other than for this back. I just don't go to them. But those people, they're going to be doctoring the rest of their short life, and spending more money than most people ever would. It's a shame. But that's my little rant for this afternoon. It's getting a little bit late. I don't know what time it is right now, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. And don't forget to pray for each other. And this is Rick Shaw out.